Hi, welcome to Practically Magic. This is Courtney Pearl.
I'm Jaime Osbahr.
We're here at Rising Moon Minerals where they are power washing right outside. So I apologize if you can hear the noise. We did our best to use magic.
Push them away.
Move along.
It did work because they were closer.
Yeah.
And it does seem like they're moving away.
But so apologize for the noise in
loud.
advance. And it is a little chilly this morning in here. Mm-hmm. So we have Vinny's all wrapped up and I brought a little sweater, but it's not enough. So next time I'll bring more.
Oh yeah.
It's cold. Time. It's time. It's that time of year.
53 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cold.
I can pretend like I didn't hear that. Okay. So we are going to start with a card. And actually I brought my cards. I brought the Enchanted Runes. I picked this up at the Gothic Market. The woman, the artist, was selling her own decks. Oh. And so, I wanted to support local art. So look her up. Jennifer Cabahan, I believe. Cabahan. So look her up. The artwork is actually really, really beautiful. And it's the Nordic runes, which I have only briefly begun to study. So apologies if I get it wrong. But we are going to be talking about this sign today. This is Othilla, which is the symbol for home. It looks like a little box with two lines coming out the end of it, a little diamond, and then the ends keep going. I remember seeing this when we did the Witch movie project last year. We did the movie Midsommar, and they had runes everywhere, and everybody had them sewn into their clothes, and they put their table where they sat was in the shape of this rune.
Oh.
So it was kind of like, I think it was a nod to, this is our family, this is our home. Turned out it was a cult, and it was a horrible movie.
And they were using runes for bad.
And I mean, that's up for interpretation, I guess. You'll have to see the movie Midsommar and find out what you feel about it. I don't know if it was bad. It was definitely a cult, but it was like, this might be a cult I would join.
Oh,
just saying.
Okay. I mean, I've been part of a cult. I don't want to do that again.
Totally get it. Yeah, but it was interesting. So looking at the meaning of this rune, responsibilities and home. And some people love to use runes as a sigil for magic, to use as protection or to use as kind of hearth and home. I have a couple of runes my father-in-law carved out of wood from our apple tree, and he made them really big. We have smaller sets, but it's not, bless you. It's not great for casting like people use for runes, but they were really pretty, and they had the words on them too, and they're really big. So I take them out and I decide which ones I want. I put them on my fireplace, put them up. So it's kind of like using sigil magic, casting a spell of protection or circle around the home. But yeah, family, what do you think of when you think of these words? Inheritance, property, family, responsibilities.
A lot of that is like the heart of who I am, who I am as an individual person. And then that extends out to being a wife, being a mother, being a dog owner, being a homeowner. But it starts within me, right? Whatever I sow within myself is what ends up kind of branching out into the rest of all of this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So
true.
Yeah, and looking at the sigil too, or the shape of the rune, I love that because it actually is describing exactly how I'm feeling. Is like I'm that little diamond, and then what's coming out is actually extending to those that are around me, my family, my animals, my home, my neighbors.
Oh yeah,
right. So I think that's a really, really cool thing. I have never worked with runes.
Yeah, I'm only barely starting, and it is a whole language in and of itself.
Yeah. And
it's very ancient. I mean, the Nordic runes have been carved on trees for longer than we've had the Bible. So a lot of people that I know that do cast runes and work with runes in divination, they almost hold it to a sacred, like the questions that they ask the runes or when they are using that tool, they reserve it, I would say, for really deep questions and sacred things and sacred rituals. Versus, I think tarot sometimes can be just for fun. I think you can get real deep and real personal and get really great readings with tarot. But I think sometimes it's fun to play with it, ask silly questions too. I don't tend to do that, or wouldn't tend to do that with runes, because it is so ancient. It's
more sacred.
An ancient wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah. And this card is amazing too. It's got wolves. And like not
the
just
pack.
And even like spirit wolves.
Yeah.
So like wolves that have passed are still there, connected to their family, their pack. Yeah. That's beautiful. Wow.
I think what you said is amazing, because I didn't even think about that. The diamond and then the kind of branching out. You could see that as branches, like roots of a tree, like the roots or the branches being being your descendants, but being all of that connected. I know for me, that made me think about, and I've talked about it on the podcast before, about healing work, in that when I was really deep in the throes of a difficult time in my life, my family was struggling, and I wanted so much to fix everything and fix everybody and to keep it all together. And I really, truly believed, from childhood trauma and all that it was my job to make sure that everybody was okay. And I was like, why isn't everybody listening to me? If they just did what I said,
it'd be fine.
If they just fell in line with what I think is the right thing to do and the right way to live, we would all be fine. Everything would be fine. And I was so frustrated that that's not how it worked. And when I shifted the focus on myself and I said, listen, I can't control what these people are doing. These people are all crazy. And I just have to work on me. And I know I'm crazy. So I better work on what is difficult, what's coming up for me, what's sticking for me. So that need to control and that need to like fix everything had to be worked on, had to be witnessed and healed. And, I started down a path that was focused on myself. And when that happened, it was everyone else's permission to do that as well. Yeah. It was like they had no choice but to handle their stuff. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is working better at helping them than what I was doing before, which was like, I've got to fix them. I've got to fix them. I've got to help them. I've got to, give them all the answers. I've got to tell them what to do with their life. I've got to, watch them constantly and be vigilant. Words today.
It's one of those days.
I'm not killing it. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I love that you got that from this symbol, that it starts. And unfortunately, it does feel like a lot of times it is women in the family that hold that space. It's like, listen, I can't deal you, but I can deal me. So I will work on that, focus on that. And then it sort of just starts to expand from that. Yeah. And it's like, I created a safe space. I have made this place a home. I've made this place loving. I've made this place a place where my kids and everybody can be themselves and know that they're loved. And then everything just has to spider web from there.
Yeah. So this one only has two, like it crosses at the bottom and it branches out like that. But I feel like there's so much more to it. Maybe those are just the two main. And as you move through it, you get more of those branches.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just reading the words and seeing the symbol. That's what came to my mind. And, working through talk therapy with my therapist. I've been seeing the same therapist for it's been 3 years. She's actually the one that taught me how to learn what my values are. That my values might differ from other people's values. and that I should determine what those are and live by them to be authentic.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a whole epiphany. That was a whole, like, that changed my life. Because like you were saying, when you see people struggling, when you see that there's a problem, for whatever reason, childhood trauma or however we were conditioned, we want to fix it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I can see how to fix this. Just do it this way.
Yeah.
But that's not always the way. And I'm learning that too, is I did that for myself as I went inward. And I said, I'm not going to shame myself and say, oh, there's something wrong with me. What do I need to fix? But how can I do this differently? Because the way that I've been doing it's not working.
Right.
And I can't force other people to do things in a certain way, but I can change the way that I'm doing it. And then I learned the same thing as when I started walking that path, others then started walking that path too.
Yeah.
And not necessarily alongside me, but parallel.
Right. Yeah.
So like they were not on this exact same path, but just seeing,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, there's a different way to do it. And let's kind of play with those ideas. And you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is interesting because I was conditioned, I think, that if I had to go to therapy or blah, 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 there were things wrong with me.
Yeah. There's the shame again.
Yeah. The shame comes into it. And then it's like, well, now I need somebody else to fix me because I can't fix myself. And it really didn't come down to that. It came down to the way that I'm living my life is not authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I live an authentic life so that it's not I'm not trying to force things to come or go into my life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because almost no one can sit and just, as long as you're working on it and as long as you are maybe meditating or, doing things that are good for you, you're able to completely witness and know what you need or how to reach that authenticity just all on your own.
Mm.
Like, I can't imagine trying to do that. To being like all on your own and being like, I'm struggling. I sense that what I'm doing isn't working. So I'm just going to will myself out of it.
Yeah.
And if I just work hard enough and I just do all the right things, I will become totally self-aware and I will just fix all the problems that are within me. I think when communities, I think about like Indigenous communities that are able to support each other without shame and judgment. And I know it exists. I've heard stories. I don't think it's just a myth or a legend. There are communities where if someone in the community is struggling, they were able to come together and help them, but in a way that was like, we know you can't do this alone, so we're all here with you. And I think that was sort of their version of therapists or healers or medicine people that had the wisdom and ability to go, hey, you just haven't been able to see what else is possible for you yet. And that's okay. We're all here for you. You're not bad. We don't think you're bad. We just are going to like surround you with lots of love. And it worked to some extent. I mean, I think there were probably some members of society that were not willing to take the help. But in our society, in our culture, that whole like, if I ask for help, if I need to reach out and ask for what I need to a professional or to someone that can do that, oh, that's so shameful.
Yeah. There's
Something wrong with me. And sometimes you don't feel safe going to just your community as in your friend group or your family and being like, I'm struggling, something's wrong. And then they're like, yeah, what's wrong with you? You should totally do what I tell you.
Or just buck up.
Or just buck up.
Things will get better.
Walk it off.
Yeah, it's like, it just doesn't work that way. And to surround yourself with people that will love and support you and not judge you and shame you, I think it's a really, really rare thing. And I don't know if that's just the culture here because of the structured religion, or if that's like a worldwide problem. But there are these small communities, I think, that you were describing that still exist.
Yeah.
The book that I was reading, and I actually finally finished it, When the Drummers Were Women.
Yes. I can't wait to read that.
It was very powerful. It talks a lot about the women and the communities and how they would help each other work through things and heal from things. And then the drums and how they would use the drums to create that community, to bring people together, to not necessarily heal with words, but to heal with the sound, which is it's just amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And now I understand more why I was so drawn to create a drum. So now I'm looking for opportunities to use it and bring the healing properties of the drum into my life and share that with others.
Yeah. And the rhythms of sound healing and drumming, and it's very much the same type of, I start to resonate at a certain frequency and then it radiates out to my community. And that's, what we started talking about. Like, I work on me, but everyone else can feel and hear what I'm drumming here. And then they can go, I like that. I want that for myself, and start to seek it. So
I think we just went full circle, which is really interesting because
so interesting.
When you start to heal yourself, when it starts within and then it starts to branch out to others.
Yeah.
And you allow others the opportunity to either connect with it.
Yeah.
Or to learn to do it differently.
And it's exactly like those videos of the tuning fork that you see. Like, if they're resonating on the same frequency, if you hit one, the other will ring. But if that's not on the same frequency, it won't ring. So, or there's those videos, you guys look them up. They're amazing. The swaying. Two objects, they have like a metronome and they set them at different times, or they have like something on a platform that sways. If two objects are near each other, they will, no matter what, they will get in sync with each other. Like, if you just give them enough time, they start to sway together. Swinging balls will start to go into a rhythm. Even no matter how different and chaotic it started out, they'll start to swing in a pattern together. And that's why energy healing work, I try to emphasize, is not just woo-woo weirdo stuff that, you can believe in it or not believe in it. It is based in scientific fact that when you resonate at a certain frequency, your body is resonating, your emotions are resonating, your thoughts are resonating. Everything is vibration. So if it's going to resonate, the things around you are going to be affected. So you're walking around resonating, with abundance and joy, and I believe everything will just work out for me. That's why it's so important in our political climate right now that we don't get sucked into the hopelessness of it and like, well, this is it. It's all ruined. It's hard not to, but like mentally, taking breaks from looking at your phone and looking at the news and looking at what's going on, being able to be like, okay, I can be aware of what's going on, but I don't have to be sucked into the energy of this is hopeless and there's no way out and it's just going downhill and we're ruined.
It's just really easy to do with where things are right now.
To do. Well, that being said, we do have a question from a listener who popped in and was asking about things like the envious eye, the evil eye. Now, culturally, I won't speak too much to what is the envious eye because it is, I believe, a lot of the Italian. There's like an island that I read about in Italy that it's very prominent. It's part of their culture to use the evil eye as protection against what they perceive as negative energy directed at them. So I won't speak to that culture necessarily. It's not my expertise, and I'll leave that to the experts who know more about that. But I do know a little something about having such energy directed at you and what to do, right?
I think we both do, to a certain degree.
So it's interesting because I had a situation where my business was growing. I was kind of building clientele. I was building kind of a community within the business world here locally. Had my podcast coming out and it was growing steadily with listeners and things like that. There were some times when I was much more busy and much more, I would say, I don't know what word to use here, abundant. I don't like to use success, but profitable. Yeah, maybe profitable. So it was like, oh, okay, so things are starting to move in a good direction. And then it kind of felt like everything just plummeted for whatever reason. And there is no direct influence in that. I couldn't find anything that was like someone was going around being like, don't hire Courtney. It was just like all of a sudden people just stopped coming.
I think that's one of the hardest things. I'm just going to plug this in there really quick because also being a small business owner, you try to make sense of why something like that happens. You're like, everything was going really well and then it just stopped. And you're like, did I say something? Did I do something? Did somebody else say or do something? And you try to make sense of it. And if there's not like, oh, well, you went on a podcast and said some really offensive things, so nobody wants to go to you for your services anymore.
Right.
Well, then that makes sense. Yeah. That cancel culture that we're in right now. But if nothing like that stands out, then you're just like, well, what happened?
Yeah. You're looking at like, okay, what's the economy doing right now? What are people spending their money on? Why would they not feel that this was worth their time or money? You're looking at all the business standpoint things of it. Have I been marketing differently? Have I been contacting people differently? When I check in with people like I usually do, is that not going well? I don't know, whatever.
You start to overanalyze.
You just analyze everything. But I even notice like my social media follows or views or whatever, those numbers. A lot of people pay a lot more attention to that than I do. I'm just like, I don't know how that all works. So I try to just be like, okay, this is what's happening. Yeah. I don't even know if I know how to check my analytics, honestly. I'd have to figure it out. But, this happens. And I just noticed like a drop in like what they call TikTok jail, where it's like all of a sudden, TikTok was like, I was getting like in the single and digits of views or double digits views, like it just felt like everything went bleh. And I started to spiral a little bit like you do. Business owners, you guys all know, we go through these moments where you're just like, this isn't working. I think I'm done. I think maybe I picked the wrong thing to do. Maybe I wasn't meant to do this. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Did you go through a phase?
Should I just go get a job? I'm like, should I just go get a regular job?
Did you go through a phase where you looked through the want ads? And you're like,
oh yeah. I'm like on Indeed and I'm like, who would even hire me? Who would even hire me?
Well, and is it worth it to
do you have a position for local witch? Because that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And I don't know what else I'm qualified for. I'm sure I'm a lot more qualified than I think I am. But the point was, and everybody who's ever owned a business goes through this. And they all told me that. And my beautiful community of the Daybreak Network and all my friends, I'm so grateful because there were days when I came crying. I was crying. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I don't know. And they were like, we all go through this. But I don't remember how it happened, but I had a mystical friend, a friend who's also very, very in touch and in tune, and I trust. And she just said, hey, she didn't know any of this. She's not in the local community, so she didn't know any of this. But she just said to me one day, like, she goes, has your like business all of a sudden dropped off? Like, have you noticed like a complete dead zone? And I was like, yes.
How did you know?
She's like, you have an envious eye. I have this very strong feeling that you have someone who's directing negative energy at you. And I'll be honest, there were a couple of people that came to mind where I was like, I consider these people friends. Now, one of the people that I was thinking of, I considered her a friend, but I also was very wary of her energy and things like that. She was just the type of person that if you upset her, it was not good. Yeah. So I was like always walking on eggshells with her. And then I have another friend who I believe it may have been, but unintentionally completely. I just felt like she was the type of person who wanted nothing but good things for everybody that she came across. but that maybe she just inadvertently was like, I want what Courtney has in some way, and was maybe like causing problems there. So I said something to my husband actually, and I didn't say anything about who I thought it was or anything, but he thought it was the good intentioned friend. That was his first thought, was like, I think it's them. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe inadvertently, I think, and intentionally. I really don't think this person ever had any malicious intent toward me, but sometimes I think you can have like just that Asian energy for someone that you're like, oh, I love this person so much and I want good things for them, but I wish it was me getting all these good things. And I don't know. It's just, it could happen. So
yeah, it's not like she was sitting there putting your name in a jar and putting it in the freezer, or being directly like sending that negative energy or trying to pull away from you. Mm-hmm. So you didn't feel that from that person, but probably
the other person, so. I thought, okay, she's always so nice to me in person, but I just get this feeling like maybe if she was not in my circles, she was not where I could hear her, she would be saying maybe, don't hire Courtney. And, you know, like, it's interesting because this person had her own thing going on, and I think that was going pretty well for her. And I think it was successful. I think, you know, she has a great online presence, and I only wanted the best for her in that capacity. Like, you do you're going to do great. Like, go do your thing. But it was just a feeling. It was just like, I just feel like maybe she doesn't appreciate any success I have, or
I think it comes down to vibration, when we were talking about that earlier, right?
Feeling.
When you're achieving some level of success and it's on the higher vibration, it almost feels like it's a higher level of success, that you're on a path that right now you're experiencing this, but it's actually setting you up for better and bigger, and like you can see that path.
Yeah.
And especially if you're the type of person that's watching somebody else go through that and you have that envious eye, you're like, oh, well, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
But maybe you're doing your business on that lower vibration where you're not always trying to focus. And when you say always focusing on, it's not really possible. But when your focus is mostly on positive and you're trying to bring in the positive energy, and you're trying to bring people to you who also vibrate on that higher level, when you're vibrating lower and you're attracting people that vibrate lower, once you have that, you almost have to maintain that low vibration because it's feeding itself.
Yeah.
So you're the one that started it, so you have to continuously feed it. And you want to put on this good, happy face, like you're such a good person and you have this business and you want to grow it and you want it to be something great. But maybe it went down a path that you didn't want to continue on.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of the way that I see it, is you can have some success by vibrating low and attracting those low vibrational people.
Yeah.
I like to say that those are not my people.
Yeah.
And if that's the way you want to run your
can
business,
feel it.
Have it. Yep. I don't want it. I don't want that. I have vibrated on a low frequency most of my life.
Yeah.
And now that I know what it feels like, and it's hard to maintain. It's hard to maintain that higher frequency when you've vibrated so low.
You've been comfy here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get drawn back down into it. But when I'm aware, when I'm self-aware, and I can say, oh, I don't like where I'm at right now. I don't like this feeling that I have. What can I do to help raise my vibration?
Yeah. How can I release what's blocking me there and like level up and step into a space that feels, because we've all felt envious. I mean, there's nothing not human about that. That's a human experience, especially if it comes to anger, frustration, and then envy is just underneath all of that.
Right.
But being able to say, oh gosh, I find myself really wanting what another person has. I like what they've got going on. And recognizing the reason I want that is because I see it in myself, and being able to recognize that instead of going, oh, to them, you know, like, ew, you're successful in a way I want to be. And I feel like there's scarcity about that. There's only enough success like that for you, and you're getting it all. So I don't get any of it.
So I'm going to try and take that from you.
Yeah.
So that I can have some of that. But the problem is you're taking something that's vibrating on a high frequency and trying to add it to your low vibrational frequency. And basically all that does is kill it.
Yeah.
It just kills it. And it's not fair, and it's not the right way to handle things, to try and take something from somebody else because you just because you want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does. And
it does
and as time goes on and we start to learn more about the things that were happening behind closed doors, where we weren't there, right? Like for me, it was a whole other level of betrayal. And I know I didn't know how much it had been affecting you because this person was trying to keep us apart.
Yeah.
I think in the same way there was an envious eye there because she could see that we were vibrating on a similar frequency.
Yeah.
Where when we come together, it actually, and I'm actually have chills all over my body right now, but just like our energies coming together could create something amazing.
Yeah.
And she didn't want that. She wanted to be that person.
Nobody in any of this situation would have kept her out of or wanted to exclude her from any of that. Do you know what I mean? That's what's so sad is like, we would love for you to be a part of what we got going on. Like all this. But it was very encouraging of her success and everything like that. So yeah, I think you're right. And I think that, coming back to our card this week too, so interesting because this person who I'd known for many years, was really supportive of like the healing work I was learning throughout my training and what I was doing. Wanted me to do sessions with their family, wanted me to do with their kids and people they knew. And they were like, oh, I'm sending you so-and-so. And they're going to, I think they can really use what you've got going on. And she herself was struggling quite a bit, but didn't want to,
go inward,
do any healing work for herself. Like would not even consider that. So, I don't tell people how they should do whatever. And I always said, if those people want to come to me for healing, let them come to me for healing. Don't push people on me. Like don't make them come to me, but just turn that reflection inward. What do you need? How do you want to heal? So that helps your family. So that helps your friends. Ultimately it was more like, I'd rather go to people who tell me exactly what I want to hear about myself and not actually look at really anything about myself. So go on your path, do what works for you. But I don't want people to feel like when I talk about the envious eye, I think people get scared and they're like, oh, people can curse me. And I think people can direct negative energy at you in so many ways, shapes, and forms. It doesn't have to be a formal curse. I have a whole episode just about cursing. So if you want to know my views on that, I think we're cursing all the time. I think I've cursed. I think everyone's cursed. I think we are cursing other people. I think mostly we're cursing ourselves with self-sabotaging belief systems and behaviors and our vibrational frequency that we hold. So I really do think we are powerful beings. So once I was aware that this energy was maybe being directed at me consciously or subconsciously, whatever was going on, I'm like, yeah, there's definitely that energy. And I need to be able to rid myself of it. I need to be able to step into my power and figure out what is it that I have power over. I was sabotaging myself in my business many times that didn't have anything to do with anyone. That was literally just, I was stepping into maybe a little bit of a desperation energy where I'm like, I got to make more money. I've got to be a success. I want to have this many sessions. I want to have this much going on. And I got to book this many events this week. And then being like, you're chasing instead of allowing that to come to you naturally and authentically. And guess what? When you chase,
it runs faster.
You're basically with your arm out, just like pushing it away. Yeah. Is what you're doing. So you're like, why isn't it happening? Why isn't it happening? Why isn't it happening? And then you're like, wait, I've been pushing it away this whole time. So I'm not going to blame all that on one person or any of that, but that is definitely an experience I've had where I know, okay, I feel that's what's going on. So I did, and I even put it right on my social media because I wanted to show people options of what you can do. But I did a spell. It's interesting now looking back on it that I was doing a spell, you were doing a spell. She's never done a spell before. She did a spell right around the same time we were kind of going through the same time. And we did not plan that. None of us had talked to each other about that. We weren't even that close at the time. So it was just, here I was doing my spell, get rid of that negative energy, cut the cords, or as I like to do, transmute those cords into something else. You can take the energy being directed at you and you can transmute that into love and abundance. So say that person's sending me energy of like, I want you to fail and I want you to do terrible and I want nobody to hire you and I want blah, 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 blah. You could be like, okay, thank you for that. I'm going to take that and change it into abundance. I have nothing but good things coming my way. You can transmute energy. So you can do that. And then you can send them back a little bit. You can be like, okay, and for you, nothing but love. Good fortune to you. Hope for the best.
Because how easy is it when you know someone is saying awful things about you to want to drop your vibration to that level and start saying awful things about them?
Yeah. Be like, oh, you don't know who you're messing with.
So easy. Let me show you who you're dealing with. And as you mentioned before, we have this amazing community of people. And as hard as it was for me to hear the words that people were saying that were so uplifting and so positive, because I was in the throes of it and I was scared and there were a lot of things going on. But those words come back to me now. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so grateful that I had these people in my life that didn't necessarily step up and fix the problem for me because it wasn't their place. It wasn't your guys' place to fix the problem.
Yeah.
It was your place.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
And we said, what should we do about this? And then we were like, ultimately,
nothing.
It
did eventually fizzle out. But I was thinking about this as you were talking about it too, because I had never done a spell before, as you had mentioned. I'd never done a candle spell. I'd never done anything other than like just the crystal energy is all I'd ever done. But right before everything happened, we did a tea and tarot and we met this guy that makes candles and he makes the whole
spell kit.
So it has all the herbs, it has the candle, it has like all the directions on how to do it. And even though I had never done it before, I felt very compelled to buy this protection kit that he was selling. I was like, if I have ever needed protection in my life, I feel like I need it right now. And if this is going to help me, I want to try everything that's possible at this point. And I had that for a couple of days. And then one morning before I came here to the crystal shop, I was like, it was yelling, like it was like, come and do this right now. And it was still burning when I left. Like I had my daughter check on it because I had to get to the shop, right?
Yeah. But a lot of those spells will have you burn the candle all the way down. And that's kind of hard sometimes. You're like, oh, I don't have time for those.
Yeah. And it was a bigger candle and stuff. But I went through it and all of my intentions were protect me, protect my shop, protect my family, protect my energy. I want protection. And I did that. And it was within a couple of days that everything like imploded.
Yeah. And that protection doesn't always look comfy.
No.
Sometimes it's like, we're going to get this person out of your life because that's the protection you need. Because that's what you asked for. You asked the universe for protection, but it still might be a little bit of a rough ride. I mean, think about it. It could have been so much worse, but like, yeah, it was a rough ride.
It was a very rough ride. But we were talking about this, I think last week too, is I can be nothing but grateful for the lessons I learned. It was hard. It was difficult. There were times that I wanted to give up. I wanted to shut down. I wanted to run. I wanted to run away. I felt like that was the only way I was going to get away from the situation. But the love and support that I had from others really, and just reaching out to the right people at the right time, saying, turn off your phone, go outside, get grounded.
Yeah.
And really understand that this is not where your life is going to be. always, right? This is
just
so
a phase
temporary, right?
Yeah.
That it sucks that these things are happening, that these things are being said about you. But honestly, this person can't touch you. And I was like, but I feel like they already are. And they're like, well, if you're thinking that way, that you're actually letting them.
You're letting it. Yeah.
So
that's what I mean when I say people are more powerful than they think they are. In that if you can let it in, you can also block it. And sometimes I will ask, because I want you to think about how it felt in that moment of like, how do I let this go? It feels so awful and heavy, and I just feel so attacked. And I feel, and your mind cannot let it go. Your mind just reels with it. So a lot of times I will ask this question. You don't have to answer this, but just sit with it. And anyone who's going through that, sit with this question. What am I getting out of reeling about this?
Right.
Holding on to it, thinking about it constantly. What is the payoff that I'm getting? Because even if you're like, nothing, I feel terrible, this is awful, I want this to stop, somewhere deep down inside you, there is something you feel you're going to get. Even if it's just like validation in the victimhood, or like it kind of feels good to be like, I'm the victim here and this is awful and I'm sorry for myself. And that's not bad. Don't feel bad if that's what you're getting out of it. Be like, oh, that's so dumb, or that's so pathetic, or whatever. No, that's human. You're just a human who's trying to get those chemical needs met in your brain. So there is some payoff for like, I'm feeling so much the victim here, which by the way, might be their game too. They love being the victim. So they're getting something out of that, and that's their little way of playing that out. They don't know any different. And that's why I can have compassion for people, even when I'm like, their behavior is awful. I can be like, gosh, that must be so hard to have that be their life. Like they just get so much out of that victimhood. They don't know any other way to be. So
yeah, I remember getting to that point too, but it was like a constant barrage. You know what I mean? It was like, I would have a day where nothing would happen and then something would happen. And it was like this awful roller coaster of garbage that was just constantly being tossed at me, and really for no reason. There was really no reason for it other than they wanted what I had.
Yeah.
They wanted, and they tried to be a part of it, and to a certain degree they were, but they were constantly, like you were saying, they were constantly trying to take more and more and more.
Yeah.
And when I really started to think about it, and I was like, no, this is my boundary.
Yeah.
This is me, and this is my business, and you're welcome to have this section of it. But beyond that, no.
Yeah.
And when I really started to set those boundaries and I started to kind of withdraw, and I realized this person wasn't a true friend.
Right.
Then that made them more upset. And then they tried harder and then they tried harder. And it was like, and then I just kept setting those boundaries and pulling back. And then, it was just.
When really, that just like all of us, the goal probably was belonging. In everything, it's like, I just wanted to belong, and I wanted to be a part of what you had, and I want to be a part of this community, and I want belonging. And it's interesting to look at it and go, well, all of that was available to you. All of that's available to me. All of that's available to all of us. But when our own behaviors and taking responsibility for our part in it, to be able to say, I caused that belonging to not be able to happen because the way I was getting it was pushing it away. It was not allowing it to happen. The chasing of it. Yeah.
It's just so interesting. It's just so interesting. And the more, like, the further away from this situation that I get, the more I understand how much I learned. Yeah. And that one protection spell that kind of set everything into motion for me. And I didn't realize that you were doing your own spell at the same time, which I think it's very interesting that both of our spells were kind of worked together.
Yeah. There was a lot going on right at that same time too.
Yeah. It's really interesting. But I learned so much.
Yeah.
And as painful as that situation was, I am very, very grateful for all the things that I learned from it. and that I continue to learn from it every day. Every day.
It's hard to see it in the moment when you're all going through it, and then at the end, and then coming through it and being like, well, that experience gave me so much that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So it was this, I like to think of it as the Emperor card in tarot. It's like the father energy where it's like you had to fall on your face here, and I didn't rescue you from that, but I am here to pick you up and dust you off and say, now you know better. Now you know something. Now you've learned something you couldn't have learned any other way. So you had to go through the hard thing to do it.
Yeah.
To get into some witchy stuff about protection, I will say there are protection spells. You can find them, but I think cinnamon is a great protection. It also has a lot to do with money and abundance, but it's using protection spells. Grounding stones, which we're going to talk a lot about here in October, going into October. Yay, October.
I love October.
Of course, like there are some really great like home protection spells I've done where you can do salt water that you drip along the out perimeter of your yard, and you speak the words. So if you go back to season 1, episode 1, I talk about how spells and magic, my definition of it is using the words, the will, and the way together. So if you can come up with words, I don't think it matters what the words are as long as they bring forward strong emotion within you. So if it's poetic and beautiful, great. If it's not, if it's like, I want everyone to get away from my house, nobody can hurt me, like just say whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't think it has to be an abracadabra or anything like that. But using those ingredients together to create some sort of protection. But even you can, if it's for the home, which our Rune suggests, protection for the home, you can talk to your house. Your house's energy as an entity can be a powerful relationship, let's say. Yes. So we just talked to our house, and our house, we're like, house, please don't let anybody in here that wants to harm us. And please help me find that phone that we lost and that's somewhere hiding in this house. And we know it's in this house, but we can't find it. So please, house, please help us. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've more recently been using crystals, and I do get a lot of people that come in, and that's probably the number one question that I get is, what can I use for protection? I have someone in my life that has this negative energy I want to protect myself from. I want to protect my home. It's a lot about protection, and I'm biased. I love black tourmaline.
Yes.
Black tourmaline resonates so deeply with me for protective energy.
So this one.
Whether you have it in its raw form, which is what Courtney is showing right now. This is a nice raw piece from Brazil. It's nice and sparkly, lustrous. Or you have it polished, whether it's a big piece, whether it's a little piece. And I get this a lot too, where people are like, well, if it's bigger, does it protect me more? And that's not necessarily it. What I like to tell people is regardless of the size of the piece, it's your intention, right? Whether you want to wear it, whether you want to place it somewhere in your home, in your car, you want to carry it in your pocket. And then it's your intention that you put into it that brings forth the power, right? Mm-hmm. Black tourmaline is amazing for protecting you, and not just not allowing that energy to come into your field, but also deflecting it away from you. Also selenite.
Of course.
Yeah. And a lot of people know about selenite. I like to tell people, put it in all 4 corners of your home.
Yep.
Put it above your doorway. And I don't know if I've told this story in the podcast before, but here in the shop, I have a nice big bar of selenite above my door, and I've witnessed its power.
Oh yeah.
There were these 2 ladies coming in. It was on a Saturday, so there were people coming and going quite a bit. One lady walked in, started walking around this table, and then the second lady took one step into the shop and said, nope, turned around and walked out. And I was like, at first I felt offended. I was like, oh, well, she doesn't like my product.
Yeah.
But then I was like, it's her energy. Her energy cannot handle the energy in this store.
Yeah.
for whatever
not ready
reason.
for
I'm
it.
not saying there's anything wrong with her. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the energy in this store. It was just a clash of energies. And it was very interesting to watch her witness that and walk away. It was like, oh, and then her friend left too, because she was like, oh, where's she going? But it's amazing when you place a crystal in a certain spot and you ask it, hey, protect me, protect this space, protect whatever it is that you're wanting it to protect. You put that intention into it to actually witness it work.
Yeah.
And what I love about selenite is you don't have to cleanse or charge. It does it itself.
Yeah.
So that's mostly the reason why I have selenite here above the door, because I don't have to think about it. It just does its thing. At home, I have black tourmaline above my door. And I remember the first time I put it there, my oldest child came upstairs and said, Mom, what is that black thing above the door? And he went to grab it. And I was like, no, leave it there. That's black tourmaline. It's protecting our home. And we went through the whole discussion about why that's there. And it's still there. Every once in a while I look up, and I haven't felt like I've needed to cleanse it, but
Yeah. As you say that, I'm like, there's probably some in my house right now that I need to make sure I set out at the full moon or put on some selenite and make sure they're cleansed. But tourmaline is known in mediums and psychics. They carry it around to just protect them from negative energy. I went through some mediumship training, and they talked about how each of us has a spirit guide they call the gatekeeper. And I know mine by a color that when I'm meditating or when I'm trying to connect spiritually, psychically, I will say gatekeeper, and I will see that color come into my view. And I know they're there. And I will say, just bring me the messages that serve my and their highest good. Only the messages. So they're kind of a filter in and of themselves of like, let's not let anybody in that, whether they be a spirit, a soul that has passed on, that has a message, like maybe if that message is not going to serve my or my client's highest good, they don't get to come through. They don't get to give their message today. But tourmaline has been known to, like, if a medium's going to connect and they don't want to connect with certain entities, or they want to keep harmful entities and energies away, they will hold tourmaline during their readings, during their psychic connection. I could have used it, actually. We were doing the ghost movie project. I'm not going to spoil what happened, but I will say episode 1 of the ghost movie project is already out, and I tell a story about a psychic attack that I had. I won't tell you here, so I'm going to let you go there and hear the rest of that story. But I think tourmaline would have been an excellent thing to have. Mm-hmm. I didn't have it in my bedroom during the night that I was sleeping and I was having an attack.
Oh, no.
I have some tourmaline that I got. Well, I came into this shop actually one day and I was like, whoa, I am feeling so dizzy. Just being in here, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel that energetic. I feel it like the floor keeps giving out, but it's not. It feels just like I'm dropping. And I was like, what is going on? She handed me tourmaline. She had a piece just like this. I think it's the same size. She's like, here, hold this. So I'm like, oh yeah, that does feel a lot better. And then I bought it because I was like, I'm going to take this home. I'm going to have this with me. And I don't know if I have any other tourmaline that's raw like that. I had the quartz with the tourmaline in it. So I have it at home. But my husband is very intuitive without any training whatsoever. It's kind of annoying. But the problem with that is when you don't have any training, you don't know why you feel so anxious all the time. And he feels anxious in social situations. He just feels like he is attacked with energy all the time. He's a Scorpio. So my mom actually gifted him a tourmaline necklace and said, the person at the crystal shop said this is what you need. And he put it on. And he was not really into a lot of spiritual things. I mean, he believes in it, but he doesn't learn it like I do. he said to me, he goes, oh my gosh, this feels like someone just put noise canceling headphones on me. He's like, I feel like I've been hearing voices, but not actually audibly, but just energy wise. Like I have been hearing whispers and voices in my head constantly my whole life. And then finally somebody just turned it off.
That's amazing.
And he said, I can't even wear this for very long because it's too quiet.
Oh, wow.
You know how like if you put on noise canceling headphones, you're like, I can hear my own heartbeat and it bothers you.
Make it though.
You're like, well, it's too quiet, right? He couldn't wear it for too long.
Wow.
He was like, it's almost too much.
You have to acclimate to the quiet. That's amazing.
So now we use that tourmaline necklace. If he's going to be in a situation where there's a lot of people, if we're going to some kind of an event or, Disneyland.
Yeah.
We went to Disneyland and I was like, you better bring your black tourmaline. You better wear it around your neck. And he was like, I'm so glad you reminded me because I would not have been able to handle the crowds of people. So I highly suggest it for anybody who has that same experience. Maybe you're highly intuitive and you just don't even realize it. You're like, why do I always get socially anxious? Why do I always feel like I have a lot of energy coming my way when I'm in crowds or lots of people?
Yeah. I have a similar view in my own experience of feeling so heavy a lot and not understanding why, and then trying to blame it on myself. Well, I must be feeling this because this is going wrong or because that's going wrong, until I learned that I'm an empath. And it was just like other people's energy, whether we were in the same vicinity or we were just in the same store, it would just latch onto me and it would just weigh on my heart. And so that's where black tourmaline, like when I start to feel that like overwhelming gathering, I'm still learning how to shed other people's energies. But one of the things was, they asked me, when you wake up in the morning, do you feel heavy for no reason? Like you can't explain anything going on in your life that makes you feel that way. And I was like, all the time. And they're like, so that, during that time in the morning, really like go in and say, these are not mine. I release you. I respect you. I see you. I feel you, but I'm going to let you go. Yeah. So going through that, it's almost automatic now. Yeah. That even like when I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm feeling anxious and I'm like, oh my gosh, something's wrong. That's not me. It's not mine to carry. I release you.
There's something else coming in. And a couple of tricks I learned in my training is we call it the zip up. Basically, you imagine a giant zipper from the root chakra all the way over the crown chakra, and you're just zipping it closed. And you can start that ritual every morning as like, I'm not allowing any energy that is not mine and that I'm not willing to take is not coming through this barrier. And another one is return to sender. So I teach a lot of empaths who come to me for Reiki and energy healing. If I feel like they're very empathic and they're like, I am anxious all the time, or I have headaches, or I can't be around a lot of people, things like that, I will say, okay, you need to start learning how to decipher what's not yours. Exactly as you're describing, like I'm heavy and I don't even have a reason to be. Yeah. Like I'm good. I'm fine. I'm not even hungry right now. I'm good. But I'm feeling like something's wrong, and I'm feeling like I don't have any money for some reason, or I'm feeling, you just start feeling everything. And then you get that feeling like you have a test tomorrow and you didn't study. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Isn't that what it feels like? Yeah. It's like, I have a test tomorrow. Wait, I don't have a test. I'm not in school. Like it's that.
There's really nothing.
Feeling.
Like
there's nothing.
When you start to break it down and you're like, there's really no reason for me to feel this way. But I think like what you're talking about is when people were like, well, you just have to let it go. You just have to let those feelings go. And part of me was like, well, I don't want those to go back to those people. I don't want them to feel this either. So then learning how to transmute that by saying, I see you, I feel you, I hear you, but I'm going to let you go. It's not, I'm sending you back. You can definitely deal with this.
Do that. Yeah.
But it was more of just like, this is a feeling, this is heavy, it's valid, but it's not mine. Right. I'm going to let you go. Yeah. And it's not specifically return to sender. I have done return to sender, by the way. Yeah. But if somebody does have a test that they need to study for, they can have that anxiety. I don't know. Yes. But I'm like, return to sender. But also in a way of love, right? Let's place this anxiety in a loving energy and then send it back.
I love that.
Give yourself some grace. It's okay to feel nervous. It's okay to feel anxious.
Yeah.
But don't let it overcome you. Don't let it be who you
cloud
are.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
So learning those things, and it's been years of learning what's mine, what's not mine, how to transmute it and let it go.
Yeah.
Right. And not be like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Send it back. Send it back. It was, and instead of doing it in fear, it was doing it in love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this energy. I don't want to feel this energy, but I can still show this energy love, and I can still let it go.
Yeah.
And it's still a process. There are still times I still get really super overwhelmed and I start to think, oh my gosh, what's happening? What's going on? Nothing is happening. Nothing is going on. I'm just carrying some stuff. Let's let that go. But there are times that it is valid, and learning how to work through that is a different thing. But
yeah,
I think we come back to the black tourmaline, and I'll find myself gravitating towards it. And I will admit I have more pieces of black tourmaline in my collection than anything else.
It's a favorite for sure.
Yeah.
So. I need to get me some more pieces because I need to start putting them in my bedroom. Yeah, it's a good one. And yeah, find those ways that work for you that feel like protection. They don't have to be a formal spell. They don't have to be, but knowing when to decipher you need that is important. It's just like anything else. It's like mindfulness. I am mindful that this energy is not mine, or that I don't deserve it. I don't deserve to feel this way. And taking the steps necessary. Sometimes a formal ceremonial spell or ritual is what you need. I can tell you it feels really good. Mm-hmm. It feels powerful. It feels like I'm taking my power back. And that's why it's not a bad thing to do. I don't think that it's a curse. I don't think that it, comes from a place of evil or anything. It's just like, I don't deserve to feel this way. I don't deserve to have this attack on me. And I'm going to hold that boundary in place. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, that's what we have for protection today. Cool. We covered all of our bases for now, and we'll see you next week. Go make magic. Thank you to our sponsors, Ride the Wave Media, who produces this, Rising Moon Minerals. You can find TikTok, Instagram, website, risingmoonminerals.com. We ship everywhere. So go online and find your crystals. All these beautiful crystals. And she just got more. This place is loaded, yes. You guys. She just restocked. Yes, I can tell. We did the Denver show. If any of you are familiar, they do a big 10-day show in Denver. And so I've heard people say that it's like 4 Walmarts full of vendors. And I will attest to 3 full days of shopping. I still didn't see all the vendors. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to have to go next year, I think. We did find some amazing, amazing pieces. And I can't wait to show you all. So much. Check it out. Thank you, Sunshine Community, for being a sunshine in our community. And that's it. Thanks. Go make magic.